For our first case quickie, we're going to talk about a YouTuber turned murderer, Randy Stair. They had an obsession with the Columbine Massacre, as well as the cartoon series Danny Phantom. This combined with their growing success of a YouTube channel sent them into near insanity. We're here to talk about what went down and how the whole situation could have been prevented altogether. Disclaimer, ding 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 ding. Our podcast is not for the faint of heart. If at any time you're feeling uncomfortable, please feel free to take a break or click off the video. We are also humans. We get things wrong when we're writing these episodes. All information has been taken from external sites, so if those sources are wrong, I apologize, and if anything needs to be corrected, please let us know in the comments below, or tweet us at the handle caseconspiracy. Warning. The following episode contains depictions of murder, suicide, as well as depictions of depression amongst other mental health problems. If you need help at any time, please seek support from a lifeline. If you're in Australia, you can call Lifeline Australia at 131114. Your mental health is important. The person in this video has problems with their gender identity. They ended up wanting to be a she, so I try to use the pronouns she as much as possible, but I do slip up for the first 10 or 20 minutes, and there are slip-ups later on in the video as well, so I do apologize. Welcome to Case of Conspiracy. I'm your host, Lachie.
I'm Emily.
I'm your boy Beans.
And we did the intro correctly! And we bleached our Lizzies.
Oh,
Yeah, let's
true.
Hell
Round two.
yeah. Welcome to
How
our...
do we get any work done? How do we get anything
I
done?
don't know. Welcome to our first case quickie on Randy Stair. Hell yeah. Okay, we got past that. Alright. Have you guys heard about Randy Stair before?
I have.
I have not.
I've seen the YouTube.
Have you
the
seen
YouTube
a
video.
video about it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's very crazy. I went into a real big YouTube deep dive on him, and
I know.
oh
Oh.
my god.
It's some wild shit.
And then,
Wasn't he like obsessed with the female ghost from Danny Phantom or some shit?
yes.
That's why
What
he
the-
became the way he did.
Why is Daddy Phantom involved in this? I don't know where this is going.
This is all revolved around Danny Phantom, and
That was his
that's what's
motive.
insane to me. Yes,
Yeah.
his
How
motive is Danny Phantom.
I can't wait.
Um,
You know.
My deep dive also went to TikTok, where at the moment he's got a really weird TikTok cult following,
Oh no.
Uh.
and it's absolutely insane. It's like,
Of course he does. Fuck's sake.
oh, they also still post daily.
Fuck.
Like they literally have daily content of making, what are they called? Where you put like multiple just clips together and then put a song behind it. Yeah,
Or fan cam.
basically like a
Yeah.
montage fan cam of him, and they do like it on the daily.
Why? Are they not banned or anything for this?
No, like it goes completely unseen because you're only gonna find it if you like look out for it, right?
So you searched for this?
Yeah, obviously.
Fair research.
It's research. I literally went through a whole deep dive of YouTube, TikTok, and oh my lord, it got pretty crazy.
Dang. Yeah. Get the story going. I want to hear this.
The 24-year-old Randy Stair used the YouTube pseudonym of Andrew Blaze and was the creator of Pioneer Productions, amassing a total of 8,900 subs. He resided in Dallas, Pennsylvania, and besides his channel, he had a job at his local supermarket, Weiss Markets. All information talking about their mental health situation, as well as information, have been taken directly from videos that have been uploaded to their YouTube channel. These are also re-uploads. I'm not 100% sure if these videos went up before the murders had taken place, or if he had set to send them out just before he went on the spree. Randy was strongly against seeing a therapist as they believe that it alters who you really are. But based on their claims of significant events in their life, it would conclude that they are definitely needed of a counselor or therapy.
Man, I wish therapy could alter who you are. Are you kidding me?
Dang, I wish too.
My therapist could alter who I am. Oh my god, I'd be going all the time.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
Starting from middle school, Randy showed evidence of a very poor and dark mental state, in which they presented stories to their English teacher. The main characters almost always ended up either killing themselves or killing others in the story. Despite this, Randy had claimed that their work had never been questioned by his teachers. Around this time, Randy's strange fascination with death and the afterlife had become an obsession in which no teacher had ever commented on. Randy stated that his suicidal tendencies started to intensify by the time he started going to high school. They started to wonder and fascinate about different methods of suicide, including asphyxiation and going up in a blaze of fire. Yeah?
Sorry, don't recommend those. They're the most painful ways to go out.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe he wanted to feel it. Like, maybe he felt like he needed to. Who knows? When he went on a family vacation, reported that he thought about jumping off of a skyscraper. In home videos that he made years later, he stated that he was upset with himself for not taking that opportunity, as he would not have to go through the later years in his life.
Yikes.
Big yikes. In 2014, Randy had become heavily obsessed with the character Ember McLean from the hit Nickelodeon show Danny Phantom.
oh, there it is.
Is this the singer?
I believe he did music. Like, he
No,
did...
no. The character, Ember McLean.
Ember McLean. Possibly. I never watched Danny Phantom, so I have not much of an idea.
Okay. You never watched Daddy Phantom?
I mean, I did here and there, but I was never obsessed with it.
Ember
Probably-
McLean is the musician. I
Okay.
understand the obsession with her because I had a massive crush on her as a kid.
Honestly, this all checks out and makes sense.
I'll put a picture of her. See, like, look at that. Come on.
I'm definitely not throwing shade your way. Oh yeah, no, I've done my research.
Sorry, anyway.
And had even created their own characters with the same cartoon style as the show, and had given a group name of Ember's Ghost Squad. This was the final creative adventure that Randy took, as they had called EGS for short, and had made a series called the EGS tapes, which depicted the characters before the characters had died. I went through a fucking massive deep dive, and I don't understand how anyone who had watched those videos had not thought it was just a complete outcry for help.
What kind of shit was in it?
Lots of mentions of massacres, suicide,
Jesus Christ.
dying. Yeah, the whole thing is just very dark. I mean, there was one called the Westboro High Massacre.
Oh,
Very, very scary shit. I would either recommend or highly not recommend watching those videos if you are interested. Or if you are not interested, please don't watch them because you'll probably get scarred.
and if you do watch them, just be warned.
There are many members of the Ghost Squad, but we'll be talking about Andrew Blaze and Mackenzie West the most. Randy states that Mackenzie West was their soulmate and that Andrew Blaze was actually themselves. When Randy would die, he said that he would turn into a ghost girl, Andrew Blaze, as Randy had struggled with their gender identity. So I have been saying he by kind of an accident here and there, because all of the videos that I'd watched have been basically saying he all the time. So it has been very difficult because I'm not sure what pronouns to basically use for them. So basically from here on out, I'll just call them she, because realistically they wanted to be a girl. A direct quote from Randy cites, "I guess when it came down to it, I felt like I was transgender or something. Like, I felt like I was a woman the whole time, which spiritually I am a woman. I'm a female soul, but I have to live in a man's body to do what I was set out to do. That was my soul contract. That's what I was meant to do.
That sounds a
I
bit.
don't. So I don't. I don't like that.
They're basically
soul contract.
they basically felt like they were sent here in the body of a man to accomplish a task, basically, and
Yeah.
then she would basically get to be herself once more once that task had been accomplished.
Right.
Fucking wild.
There's also like different accounts of her talking to herself, which kind of relates to like a schizophrenia possibility as well. Like, so she would talk to the different characters over Twitter and very partially in some videos, but not much at all.
The different characters, the ones that Randy have made up, and
Yeah, so these are characters that Randy had made up. I'm not 100% sure if some of them were from the TV show. I'll send you a list of them later, but I don't.
but either way, Randy was
Well, did Ember ever
pretending
have?
to be them.
Did Ember ever have like a ghost squad of people at all?
Well, yeah, because Ember was a massive like ghost rock star, and her fans would be like, I guess, the Ghost Club. But I don't remember
Okay.
if they had like a name. But if they did, it would probably be like a name for her fans.
Gotcha. It was also known that Randy made homophobic comments and transphobic comments a lot, which
Oh,
makes
no.
sense as someone who'd been brought up to be around homophobia and transphobia. They would look towards other solutions towards why they felt that the way that they do. There were some people that will make homophobic, transphobic comments and would later themselves come out as, you know,
Yeah.
homosexual or trans because they didn't know how to deal with their current feelings, or they felt like they would get backlash if anyone else knew, so they thought that if I go against this sort of norm, no one will suspect it.
They're overcompensating for it.
Well, yeah. Plus, like, if you're raised in that, you and like, if you're raised in a homophobic and transphobic environment, you don't know it, but you have internalized homophobia and transphobia. So the whole thing of
Yeah, I mean,
coming out becomes increasingly difficult
because you
because
can
you have to fight with yourself.
because you can actually you can be gay as well as homophobic at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
I was watching this video of this gay Christian person that was like, this is just something that's wrong with me, and I'm never gonna act on my intentions.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people do struggle with that just because of their environment and feeling the need to fit in, basically.
Well, that's literally like how conversion therapy started. It started from a gay man who did not want to, who like had so much internalized homophobia that he created conversion therapy. And then after being in it for so many years or decades, I don't even know how long the time was, but it was forever, he came out and withdrew from all of that.
Randy had taken this concept, but had taken it to the very next level, insinuating that their whole life on Earth is to accomplish a goal and then return to the female form that she desired. It was at this...
Okay.
Okay. Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Tasty okays all round. Thank you. It was at this point that I had looked into Randy's plan. She had
Right.
decided to go down in a full-on blaze of glory. She stated that she knew what had to be done, and it was to make her party of ghost squads before taking her own life to become Andrew Blaze. But it wasn't as simple as that. She had to figure out the when, the why, and the how. The when. Randy had decided on when it would take place using the letters from Ember's Ghost Squad. 05, 07, 19, which would be held on the 7th of May 2019. But this plan would never come to fruition as Randy became impatient with the world and then moved the date to June 9th, which was an anniversary of their YouTube channel. Plans would again change and be moved to the 7th/8th of June 2017. I'm not sure for what reason that was, but it was set in stone at that point. The why. As I had mentioned earlier, Randy stated that as she left the world, she would take others with her to grow Ember's ghost squad before taking her own life, becoming Andrew Blaze. Randy had two options that she was thinking of, because they had to be significant killings to warrant this. Option number one was to make it happen at home, killing her mother, father, and her brother. Or option number two, go to her place of work, which was the Wyeth supermarkets in Pennsylvania, and take out her co-workers before ending her own life. Randy couldn't decide which of the two to go with, so she let it come down to fate. Series of coin flips, the best out of three. If the coin landed on heads, she would commit the massacre at home, and if it were tails, she would commit it at the markets.
That's one way of choosing.
Yeah.
I mean, I already know the outcome is because I've seen a little bit about it, so no, like.
I should.
I'm
I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm like lost for words because it's so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
I
Fucking
I can't tell who I'm gonna massacre today. Let me just flip a coin, but not
Right?
just once, 3 times because I have to be sure.
Well, it's
like,
gotta be
what?
a best out of three.
Are you fucking kidding
The
me?
way that
For-
someone in the YouTube video, which is, I guess, might have been the same one that I watched as Thorney, a lot of people that would do this sort of thing, like being a killer, would have sort of like a god complex.
Oh, yeah.
This is your fate. This is set in stone now. This coin flip has determined if you're going to live or die, basically.
Yeah, it's like a big thing on Destiny.
The first coin landed on tails. That's one for the market. She flipped it again, and it landed on heads. That's
No,
one for home.
so close.
Hang on, who's reporting this bit?
So this is basically a video that was documented
Right.
that she had taken herself about the coin flips. I don't know if you watched that or not. All of this is like very well documented and been re-uploaded to YouTube. So that one's for home. It was at this point that Randy looked really giddy and was excited for the last flip, as she thought about how crazy that it was that it would come down to the very last coin flip. Randy had tossed the coin into the air, and it hit the ground. He went over to the coin, focused the camera on it, and there it was. A shiny silver tail. And just like that, her co-workers' fates had been decided. I mean,
That's terrifying.
it's terrifying because that's something that can just happen in everyday life.
Yeah, it's the fact that like your coworker could be sitting at home deciding your fate.
Yeah.
Cause, you know?
Or even finding out that your son or brother or sister had basically decided your fate in a coin flip.
Yeah. Like considering killing you in the next room, basically.
Exactly. Like, it doesn't matter who died. You're gonna just hurt everyone, like, completely in this situation.
Exactly.
The how. Randy had purchased 2 shotguns that she'd called Mackenzie and Rachel, which were from Ember's Ghost Squad. They were polar opposites, but this time they were working together. Randy wrote in her journal, "You were a fool to trust me with that shotgun. Oh mother, if only you'd realized you'd sign my death warrant by taking me to that gun shop." She then duct taped the pistol grips of the shotguns, same as one of the Columbine shooters.
Oh.
I think she thanked Eric.
She thanked Eric.
Yeah, because the Columbine shooter did the exact same thing. So she basically followed suit and said, "Oh, that's a great idea of a grip for the shotgun. I'm going to take that and use it as a memento to you, as she had looked up to Eric.
That's so fucked up. Taking direct inspiration from the Columbine shooters.
Yep. Randy had the 2 shotguns just in case a gun had jammed, as well as having a secondary weapon. But only one gun was used the night of the massacre, which was the gun that she'd called Rachel, as this character was the one that had been violent in her series. You guys ready for the night of the massacre?
No.
I'm on the edge of my seat essentially with this. I don't want to know, but at the same time I do.
It's fucked up, but it's like...
It's just, there's no way this is ending well. I don't like.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's a tiny bit of light at the end of the tunnel.
Is
there ever with mass murders?
No. I'll get to that later. On the night of June 7th, 2017, and only hours before the massacre, Randy uploaded their final video, which was the animation project that she'd been working on for several months now. The video starts with her loading the 2 shotguns, Mackenzie and Rachel, both etched into the sides of the weapons, taking direct inspiration from Eric once again. In the video, she states, "I've been stepped on my whole life. Not anymore. I've had enough of this putrid planet and I'm ready to leave my mark." And had bragged in the video that something was gonna happen that night. Everything at this point was in plain sight. There was still time to stop her, but nothing went reported. So basically, even though they had a following of 8,900 people, none of those people really believed it.
Like, no one said anything?
No one reported it to police whatsoever.
Far out.
So like, I don't. A lot of her viewers probably thought it was fake, and none of it was real. So you can't like blame the viewers for not reporting anything, because
That's true.
I mean,
you can put anything up online and like on YouTube especially, and be like, you know, like I don't know if that makes sense, but like
Yeah, like say it's satire, or be like, oh yeah, it's just a joke.
yeah, or like you don't
Yeah.
even have to preface it. Like
well, the thing is, they would upload a lot of these videos of the EGS squad being like, you know, somehow about massacres or suicide. So
yeah,
it
probably just felt
kind
like
of-
more of the fiction to the audience.
yeah, quite possibly.
especially with the Danny Phantom stuff involved with it. Like this, it's totally. I can easily see how people didn't think it was real.
Well, I forgot about this and just until now. You know Ray William Johnson?
He exists, yeah.
He exists, and he made EGS a part of one of his shows back in the day. Back when he was like one of the highest known people on his show, basically.
Well, so this is like 2014. Like, edgy humor was pretty popular.
Yeah, true.
Okay, tell us what happened. I'm like, I need to find out now.
You're on the edge of your seat.
I'm uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable that I know everything leading up to it,
Yeah,
but not what actually happens.
And that is where we leave episode 1 of Case Quickie. Join us next week.
To be continued.
To be continued.
This episode of Case Quickie is brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. Use our
No.
code Quickie
Not
and get your
again.
first
Not again.
silver level 10 fucking dude.
No, not again.
Just this case of what fucking Case Quickie was brought to you by my therapist. Please pay my therapist bills.
Hell yeah.
This case was brought to you by my grandson. Please call me.
No, I mean, if you want to do a plug of your thing, of your sponsored thing,
Oh, what do you... Wait, hang on. What am I doing?
we're plugging you every time until we get an actual sponsor. And even then, we're
hard.
plugging you. We're plugging
That's
you
hard.
so damn hard
That's
that
so
you're
hard.
going
Oh my
to
God.
fill
I
up
don't-
with your goops. This episode of Case of Conspiracy is brought to you by Lochie Thorne. His music can be found in descriptions. Buy his hat. Buy his hat. I don't care
Buy
whatever
his
you
hat.
do.
Buy
Buy his
his
damn
hat.
hat.
Buy his hat. My hat. Buy his hat.
Buy his hat, yes.
Or just like his other merch shirts because they're really comfortable.
Yes, they are very comfortable. I have
Yeah.
a I have the white one, and it is very fabricy and very nice fit.
That's
And
got my
it
face
feels
on
so
it.
good. And it's got his face
Bella
on it.
sleeps in Bella
Um,
sleeps in it, and I woke up. It's just like I wake up next to you, you know.
Aw,
Hell
that's
yeah.
cute.
Don't moan like that on the phone.
Randy Stair went to her job and spent the first 90 minutes of her shift blocking entrances and exits with pallets and other large objects. No one had noticed that Randy wasn't doing their work because everyone else was busy getting their own work done. Randy then goes up to the front entrance, blocking the door and barricading it with another pallet. He then pulls out the shotgun Rachel. The next details that happen are uncertain, as news accounts differ from what one of the employees said had happened to one of the news sources. Content warning. Do it.
Okay, heavy content warning coming up. Mentions of suicide and murder or anything. If that is something that you cannot handle, feel free. We give you permission. you can stop listening. And there are resources out there if you need any.
Nickelodeon.
Murder.
In the store with her, a 25-year-old Victoria, 63-year-old Terry, 47-year-old Brian, as well as 25-year-old Kristen. According to Kristen, she was in the same aisle as Victoria, working together to restock the shelves, both with headphones in and listening to music. The two of them were goofing around to make the time pass faster, when Victoria went further down the aisle to get some more labels. I don't hate Victoria, but you gotta go, Randy wrote in her journal. All of a sudden, Kristen hears a popping sound followed by a large thud.
Oh.
At the time, she doesn't know
Terrifying.
it, but Randy had shot Victoria, his first victim. Firstly, wounding her chest, and as she turned around to run from him, he pulled the trigger again and again, shooting her from behind at the base of the skull. When Kristen turned to see what the popping noise was, she was met with Randy standing several feet away from her at the end of the aisle. The gun was in his hands and Victoria on the floor between the two of them. Watching, shocked and terrified, Randy then fires more shots merciless at Victoria. Randy looks up, the two of them lock eyes, Kristen's heart pounding, but not being able to move due to the shock of what just happened. After a few seconds, he turns away, walks into one of the other aisles. This is one of the places where Kristen's account differ from the news accounts. Kristen says that she made eye contact with him and that he had shot Victoria, but the news account stated that Kristen hadn't heard any gunshots, but had alleged that according to the CCTV footage, after shooting Victoria, Randy found Kristen looming over her, a few feet behind her, and then the whole time she had no idea he was there. Randy? Yeah. Imagine someone's just standing behind you with a shotgun. You're just not knowing that they're there because you're listening to music.
Fuck.
Terrifying.
Randy has the shotgun in his hands, looking at her for 5 seconds, then turning away and going to the next aisle. Not knowing which accounts are true, both eerily disturbing and absolutely horrific.
So did Kristen not get attacked?
In both accounts, he let her go. So
Shit.
basically either stared at her for a few seconds, locking eyes, and then moving on, or looming behind her, just holding a shotgun for 5 seconds, and then turning away.
Wonder why Kristen wasn't a target.
Who knows? Maybe
Maybe he didn't expect Kristen to be working that night, or
so beforehand, months before, he knew which people were gonna be on this shift.
Oh,
So
Oh.
it was confirmed that he knew which people were going to be there. So who knows? Maybe she second guessed it.
did you say they were goofing around beforehand? Like maybe Kristen was a
No.
friend. No.
So Kristen was goofing around with Victoria.
Oh, okay, cool, gotcha.
Basically, her mentality is that women are just better. She doesn't like men at all.
Oh.
Valid.
Valid.
You're welcome.
I don't think it's valid when it comes to mass murder.
Oh.
Well, okay, I see. The next Ghost Squad killer is out.
No. Don't kill. Just hate him internally.
Exactly.
I don't know
You
about you
don't
guys,
count.
but I love men.
You guys are the exception, you know.
Trust me, so do I, Thorney.
Do you want to leave?
No.
Do you guys need
fine.
some alone time?
No, it's okay. You can watch. It's fine. Moving on.
Again, we just. There's no way we're like neurotypical.
In other aisles, Randy finds Brian shooting him from far away, getting his arm, groin, chest, as well as the right side of his head, shooting him a
Fuck.
total of 5 times.
But Jesus.
Randy then tracked down his last and oldest co-worker, Terry, who had most likely already heard the gunshots. Terry was shot twice in the back of the shoulder. According to Kristen, during all this she still hadn't moved at all, her feet firmly planted to the floor, frozen from the shock and fear. When she made herself move, she firstly checks on Victoria, shaking her, and even though Victoria still had a heartbeat, she was already long gone due to her wound. She then calls 911 while still in the aisle, but sadly her call was already too late as her co-workers had already been killed. She makes her way to the self-serve checkouts, and as she does, she hears more gunshots. She can't make out where Randy is, but she has an idea of where generally in the store the gunshots are coming from. When she spots him and her back is turned, Kristen makes a break for the front door, getting past the pallet and unlocking the door, but as she went to push open the door, it wouldn't budge. As she panics, slams her shoulder into the door again and again until it pops open. She then ran outside into the parking lot, running further and further away uphill, hiding until help arrives. So there is very, very slight bit of light at the end of the tunnel.
She got
All
out.
things considered, at least one person got out, you know? It could have been everyone.
Yeah, Randy had every opportunity to kill them all. I just didn't.
Yeah,
Which to me, it's like, is there anything behind that, or is that?
I think that either she had a crush on Kristen and couldn't
Oh.
find the will to do it, or had just admired her.
Yes. It's just weird that, like, I don't know.
But
stands
at
out
the
to me.
same time, as delusional as she was, it wouldn't really make sense to do that, because wouldn't you want to take the best people with you to the
Exactly, 'cause
afterlife?
her
That was
entire
the whole
like, she
point.
wanted- Yeah.
Maybe it was like, no, you're not good enough for this Ghost Squad.
Oh, she hated Kristen, and that's why.
Or it just was that like Kristen dying just wasn't in a plan. Maybe they want like
Well,
maybe
there
Randy
was
wanted someone to remain so that they could continue telling the story.
well,
you know?
written in a journal page that Randy posted to social media was the plans of where the people were going to be. All of them were basically marked for death.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although to be fair, Randy was very much about, by the sounds of it, very much about the attention received from this, like
Yes.
uploading all those videos and shit. So maybe it's about leaving someone alive to tell the story, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why.
most possibly. While this is happening, Randy is finishing up her plan. She opens fire on the merchandise in the store, shattering glass and shooting small propane tanks. She wanted
Jesus.
to blow them up to destroy the store. This isn't a video game, so they won't just explode, apparently. I would have assumed, playing all these video games, that propane tanks would explode when you shoot them. She then decides to keep firing randomly in the store again, before then deciding that it was time to come to finish her plan. She makes her way to the deli section, where she makes her last tweet out. "Goodbye, humans. I'll miss you." And then with the
Sorry, total side note. I pulled up the propane tank thing because it was bugging me. A propane tank won't explode if it's shot. Fire needs oxygen to burn, and there isn't enough oxygen in the tank to fuel an explosion. And the bullet is
Ah,
also not hot enough to ignite the propane. Propane
That
has
makes
to be
sense.
pressurized in order to become liquid.
video games. Why are you lying to
Well,
me? Yeah,
I guess
true.
logic makes sense.
I guess when logic enters the case.
That is a true statement.
I guess when logic enters the case, goodbye video games. A total of 59 shotgun shells were shot throughout the store.
Oh my god. That's a lot.
That is a very large amount of shotgun shells, with only the one gun being shot as well. The police search.
Sorry.
The police! The police are here!
I was just like silent for a little bit, and then here you go.
The
Police search.
To find out motive, they had searched Randy's house and found 7 boxes of 12-gauge shotgun shells, shooting goggles, ear protection, and a shotgun buttstock. Police took her notebooks and her writing. Police took her notebooks along with her writing and drawings, as well as the computer which had evidence on it. With this evidence, they found a clear picture of what happened and why it happened. It was at this point that I had found out that the videos that I'd been watching of her plans were uploaded the night of the massacre. I forgot about
shit.
that.
Oh my god.
Which described her decline in mental health in great detail. One of the videos she was confused as to why none of her family noticed any of the warning signs. Waiting. The warning signs were always there. They were there from the beginning. You can always say, what if, what if, what if? What could we have done? You know, how didn't we know? It was all there, in front of your faces. In front of your face, you know. Welcome to reality. With these videos she had released the night of the massacre, it was very clear that Randy had lost touch with all reality, saying that she believes in a cartoon character, saying that she believes that the cartoon character Ember is the goddess. There were hours and hours of videos just describing what Randy was feeling, her thoughts, and describing what she wanted to do. She knew who would have been working that night. She knew she would have 2 shotguns, stating, always have a backup plan. That is the case quickie of Randy Stair.
Dang, that's a heavy one.
Yeah, that was heavy. That was heavy to research, that one.
Yeah.
This
for
one took a lot more research than the Hinterkaifeck. It was shorter because I had to condense it a bit. This could have been like a part 1 and a part 2.
sure. Yeah. The difference, like, it feels a bit heavier than Hinterkaifeck as well because it's still a bit modern, if
Very
that makes sense.
recent.
Yeah.
Very recent.
5 years
Also-
ago as compared to 100.
Well, also the Hinterkaifeck ones is open somewhat. Like, we don't know what happened
Yeah.
or who did it. With this, it's there's
It's
solid
all
ending.
documented, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just...
Literally all of this is documented, and I could have written a 20-page essay on everything because there was
Shit.
so much information that was written about, as well as all of the videos. I don't know how many hours, but there was hours upon hours of videos just talking about it.
Like, if only Randy was able to, like, reach out and tell someone other than just, like, the internet what's going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I guess
Like,
that was...
I understand the point of, you know, where were Randy's family? Where were Randy's friends? Why couldn't they pick up on the signs? And it's like, I get that, but at the same time, you can't always tell what people are going through.
Also, I feel like it's a bit harder when it's someone who's obsessed with a cartoon character.
Yeah,
Like,
like,
you're not gonna
is
take
just-
that as seriously.
Well, this is different from like what people know of depression and anxiety or whatever.
Exactly.
Like, the signs are clearly different, especially if someone is thinking that this TV show is real and coming up with, like, having characters and like literally devoting your life and others' lives to that show. Like,
Well, one of the last worries that she had was what would happen to all of the posters that I'm not sure if she had drawn all of these things or if she had them commissioned, but apparently there was lots of posters that were just signed, and the last one of the last videos that she'd made was, I hope that, you know, these posters go to fans.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And it's just a lot of attention. It's just wanting attention because she hadn't really known that as much. She'd gone through life, people overlooking who she truly was, as
yeah.
well as overlooking, you know, the plans.
Were these popular videos, by the way, or were they just...
So
Yeah.
those videos that were released on the night of the massacres. So I had forgotten
Right.
about it until I read it right at the end of my story. But those videos released the night of / before. I'm not sure if they had like scheduling back then, but most likely that was the case.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know, what are your thoughts on this? It's wild.
Well, yeah, that was the end of our first
Yeah.
case quickie.
No,
You're
what do you
gonna
think?
answer Thorney's question.
No, I don't know how to, because
Because it's heavy. I know, it's hard to think about.
It's so heavy, and I went into such a deep dive where it's just like,
That's why I want to know, because you know all the shit.
I do not feel sorry for this person whatsoever.
Yeah, absolutely not.
But at the same time, I you know what struggles of, you know, keeping who you are away from people.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, Randy had this life where she couldn't properly communicate because of the people that surrounded her, of the way that the world, even 5 years ago, isn't as accepting as what it is right now. I mean, there were steps being taken place, but even from 5 years ago, it's a lot more acceptable to be, in this case, trans 5 years later, because even 5 years ago, there's a lot of transphobia. And even right now, there's a lower amount of transphobia, but at the same time,
It's still there.
yeah, it's much more acceptable to be gay 5 years ago than trans, because socially, I think that's just going to be the case for a while, until people eventually understand that being trans is normal. Because now people say that being gay is just a normal part of life, whereas if you had asked people that 10, 20 years ago, the people would be very much homophobic.
Yeah. Hopefully we're moving in the right direction, though, as a society.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so. But it's just very crazy to, this is just a clear sign of trans person basically being transphobic because of the people surrounding them and just mental health situations that were just unchecked. No
Yeah.
psychologist whatsoever. I mean, at a point, there had been teachers that should have come forward and had said, look, your son, all the things that, or his son at the point, all of the stories that they had made either concern death, suicide, a massacre. There's clearly something wrong here, and if any steps were taken whatsoever, it could have prevented this.
Yeah.
But who really knows? I mean, if a psychologist got involved and then mental health drugs got involved, because this is a very heavy case of mental health it's going unchecked.
Yeah.
There are some people that don't really need medication, but they do have certain things like depression, anxiety. But when you get to a point of depression so bad that you have suicidal tendencies, as well as, talking to people that are not there, especially, she had she had other accounts for, like, most of the characters in the series that would tweet back and forth to each other, having conversations of, what's going on. So it's a big case of mental health going unchecked, transphobia for someone that is actually trans themselves and can't understand why they're feeling the way they do, as well as
Yep.
schizophrenia. I mean,
Yeah, like bipolar or that sort of.
yeah, even that. It could be bipolar disorder, it could be schizophrenia, and you don't know because all of it was gone unchecked because no one followed any warning signs whatsoever. And even with myself, I had shown signs of ADHD for a very long time. And my family is just like, oh no, it's just normal.
No, stop! You're triggering me. You're triggering me. Stop.
It's just going completely unchecked.
You're not alone in that. Everyone's like, I have undiagnosed ADHD.
Yeah.
Like, my dad definitely has it, and they're like, I'm like, why does dad do this and this? And I'm like, hello.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Good thing I'm completely neurotypical.
You're completely.
Absolutely.
You're completely
Boring.
normal, Thorney. No mental health problems whatsoever. This male over here.
Oi.
Yep.
It's a straight male.
Straight man, wink wink.
Wink wink, nudge nudge. Wink wink, nudge nudge, cock in mouth.
Oi.
Oh my god. Get your rat out for the lads.
Get your rat out for the lads. We're gonna bring it back every episode somehow.
Oh yeah.
It's just gonna be our thing.
Yeah. Moral of it, I guess. Just
don't neglect your own mental health.
Yeah. Just get help.
Just get help.
Just like
It is completely normal to feel not normal. And if you
Yeah.
feel not normal, maybe talk to people about it. I know
Yeah,
it's
reach
it's very difficult, but there are some people that will understand you. I'm not saying that everyone's going to understand you, but if you feel like it's concerning you that much to a point where you feel like it's going to have problems in the future, just talk to someone.
Sorry. I was gonna say, it doesn't have to be someone you know. It doesn't have it could be your closest friend, it could be total stranger on the phone, like doesn't matter. Just talk to somebody.
Like with me, I had a time where I was struggling with a lot of depression to a point where I didn't know who to talk to about in high school because I didn't know if my friends would be okay with talking about it, even though I know now that that is the case. People are fine to talk about these things, but back then when you don't know, you know, it's very hard to it's very hard to seek out. And even with someone like a stranger, like a psychologist, or in my case I had a school counselor, even just talking to them about, you know, how you are feeling,
Or like even a hotline, like,
or even a hotline, someone that
From
doesn't know you.
From personal experience, hotlines can help. But if they don't, then it's just not the right one for you. And you move on, find something else.
yeah.
Back in the day, I had very high anxiety that if I call a hotline, they're gonna know where I am. They're gonna have all my information. So, but I felt with a counselor that I could talk openly because I didn't know who this person was, and I know that it is their job to talk to people and come up with explanations to why you're feeling this. Even if it's not a psychologist, there are people out there to help you. And that's that on Bleach and Your Lizzie.
Oh,
Thanks for listening.
And that was our case quickie on Randy Stair.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening. Their name is Randy is Mine. I don't know how loud this is going to be. This is what Randy looks like.
Hi, Randy. My God.
Yeah, these are fan cams.
I don't like this.
It's so strange, though.
What do the comments look like? I miss her so
Natural
much. She's our time to
selection.
rise. Oh my God. Natural selection is our time to rise. Did that comment just get deleted?
No, I just
He
Oh,
scrolled.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
TikTok is
I got
very
scared.
glitchy.
How bro she shut up the store and thought she's gonna recon as a ghost kill. Jesus Christ.
I want to be with her.
She's in our warm heart. Are these jokes?
No.
No, this feels real.
If
Oh
she
my
run away.
God. Yeah, no, fair.
It's...
She made my child, it's not her fault. She just didn't get the help she needed. Oh my God. Yeah.
There you go. This is
Good
the
comment.
only comment that needs to be here.
Why the fuck are people missing the Meowler sick? Good. What the fuck is this? Fair. That's my reaction too.
Yeah. Do you want to have a look at the other videos?
Sure. This is fucked up.
Oh my God. There's so many. Ooh, I don't like the way the photos shift.
The love of my life and afterlife.
This is over 1,000 views.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't believe that's a real thing. Like, I don't know that it is, but holy shit.
Oh. I'm sorry. Just seeing all of the EGS shit and then Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
Of course.
What?
Oh my God. So these are all re-uploads, yeah?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Oh, I love seeing the R word.
Yeah. That's...
Oh no, there's a whole video about it. Where was it? Oh, that one.
Yeah.
There's another
Peanut butter.
one. There's another R word.
Great.
Word. Conspiring a massacre.
You've already watched it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's because I went through this whole deep dive, remember?
Oh.
Let me...
I don't like this.
Nah.
Egg.
Bullies, the pestering tormentors of grade school. Outcasts, those who are rejected by others in the social hierarchy. Every human being on the planet Earth is divided into a social zone. Although grade school bullies temporarily inflict...
Let's just skim it a bit.
Why do you dress so atrociously stupid? Do you honestly think that you look handsome wearing that gay
Oh, there you go.
$80 checkered flannel shirt
My
that you paid for
God.
just for this to poke your throat and into your skull and watch your brain splatter on the fucking pavement?
This is not Danny Phantom.
This is not Danny Phantom. You're very correct, Thorney.
It's not my Daddy Phantom.
It's not my Danny. Yeah,
I don't-
EGS intro.
souls because of
Eggs.
their purity.
Egg.
That's a squad recruiting their newest member. Men, women, all souls are fair game. The afterlife is
Fucking
more
hell.
than just a battle. It's a war.
This is fucking with my head. This is a thing.
Yeah, that it's re-uploaded and allowed to be on YouTube.
Yeah. And the TikToks as well, my god.
Yeah, man.
It feels satirical, but like I know that it wouldn't be. Because edgy humor isn't a
Ah.
thing anymore.
Look!
Comeback song by Send Request. Oh my god.
God.
Oh no,
Yeah.
that must be Andrew Blaze. And that is the Ghost Squad that's the full Ghost Squad.
Fuck. It's just by like an indie band called Send Request. It's a song called Comeback Song.
Yeah, okay. I thought they were actually like a big band.
Nah.
Yeah.
It's like a Bandcamp band.
Dang.